Ms. Puckett, you claim the defendant, Stephen Macon, fathered your child while in a relationship with his current girlfriend, Ms. Glover.
Yes, Your Honor.
You claim you can prove he got you pregnant at the same time, and now you both have 2-year-old children named Stephen Macon Jr.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're asking the court for a DNA test to prove that Mr. Macon is the biological father of your 2-year-old son. And Mr. Macon, you claim to have concrete evidence that will prove to the court there's no possibility that you could be Miss Puckett's child's father.
Yes, Your Honor. She got 5 kids by 5 different baby daddies.
And you could be the 6th.
No, I ain't. No, I ain't. If we ain't have sex till like 3 months after, I wouldn't even have sex with her.
But you did have sex with her.
Me and Miss Glover, we wasn't together at the time.
Did you use protection?
Yes.
You did?
But it was.
Okay, but there was a malfunction.
Right. Before we even had sex, 3 weeks after I met her, she got my name tattooed on her neck.
You got his name tattooed on your neck 3 weeks after
we ain't
you
even
met her?
had sex yet.
No, I didn't.
All right. So, Ms. Puckett, take me back to this relationship. You were having sex with Mr. Macon, you find out you're pregnant. Mm-hmm. Then what?
And then I call him and I tell him, you know, that I was pregnant. I told him, he said, how? And I told him, because I took a pregnancy test.
Did you know he had a girlfriend that he was off and on with?
No.
So in your mind, what was this thing you all had?
Well, we was dating. He was treating me real good. He buy me stuff. He give me money when I needed it. He say if I need anything, my kids anything, he'd do for them. When I was pregnant, he was rubbing on my belly like he was happy and he was concerned about it. And I have a picture of him rubbing on my belly when I was about 7 months.
Let me see that picture. Jerome, will you hand it to me, please? Is this you, Mr. Macon? Are those your hands and your jacket?
Yeah.
So what do you have to counter this evidence that Ms. Puckett is presenting?
It's not my child. No, she was sleeping around with a whole lot of people. I know it for.
Do you have any proof of that? Did you bring the court anything? Did you hear anything? Did you talk to someone? Did you see her? Did you catch her?
Yeah, my own friends, they used to spend the night over there. Like, it wasn't nothing.
Your friends used to spend the night over her house? Like
That's a lie, Your Honor.
I didn't have sex with her till after 3 months after I met her. She wanted to have sex every single day since she met me.
Okay, that's what you saying when you was kissing all on my neck and you was following me to my bed and going to my bedroom trying to take my clothes off.
Come on, man.
So you were saying you weren't a willing participant in this?
No, I felt like it was too easy. No, I'm saying that I felt like it was too easy, okay? You trying to throw it at me. Okay,
well, you caught it. You had sex with her. I don't understand this.
Come on, man.
I don't understand this, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna take that smile as a symbol of your nervousness, and not that you think it's funny.
Right.
To have 2 young men running around this world called Stephen Macon Jr.
No, it's not funny.
Both have your name, and coming from a family where in my father's line there is a 4th, I couldn't imagine if my father, who is the junior, was looking at another person that had the same name. Giving someone their father's name is about creating lineage, line.
Right.
Not this way. Not 2, right?
Right.
So now this is serious.
Last week, before we came to court, he sent me a message. Would you like to see that? He sent me a message off of Facebook saying that if it was his, that we all was gonna move in together.
Oh. Get out of here with
He
that,
said
man.
me, her baby, and my kids, we all gonna move in together if it was his. Then he sent me another one, said if it was his and it come out to be his, that we was gonna make love to the sunrise.
Right, I said that.
So you have evidence of that?
I have one of the evidence.
Jerome, will you please hand that to me, please? So this piece of evidence is a text.
Yes.
From Mr. Macon.
Mm-hmm.
If he is, like I said, I'll apologize to him. I'll come get him and whatever else needed, and I'll apologize to you, and we can blank till the sun comes up.
What? Okay, all right.
Is that a text you wrote, Mr. Macon?
Yeah, I wrote it.
let's move forward from this. Take me to the day you actually gave birth. Was Mr. Macon there?
He came in, you know, and he was looking at the baby, playing with my son. And then so he said, so what you naming him? I said, I'm naming him after my brother. I said, because that's what my grandma want me to do. No, you're not naming him that. You're not naming him that. You name him Steve. So he said, call the nurse. So I buzzed the nurse. The nurse was there as a witness, because you know the nurse got to be there at all hospitals before they let you sign anything, an affidavit or anything like that. And that's what I did. I called the nurse and she said, are you sure this is your child? He said, yeah.
I stayed at the hospital literally, I don't even think it was 10 minutes. I looked at the baby. She asked me, what you want to name the baby? You going to sign the birth certificate? I said, look here, I got to go. I got some things I got to do, and I left.
Well, that doesn't even sound right.
Seriously, that's exactly what happened.
So, when you looked at the baby, you felt like there's no way this is my child?
No.
And then you were done then?
Yeah, I was done. I was been
So
done.
you didn't sign a birth certificate?
No.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell.
I have proof showing that he signed a birth certificate.
I'd like to see that
right now.
Jerome, will you hand me that evidence, please? Certificate of live birth, child's name, Stephen Terrence Macon, Jr. Father, co-parents, current legal name, Stephen Terrence Macon. Is that you, sir?
No, I ain't saying that. No.
You know, this court understands that sometimes we get a little less than the truth from the plaintiffs and the defendants. So the court called the hospital in your home state where Ms. Puckett delivered, and their requirement is that a father, biological father, before signing a certificate of birth, must provide a social security number and sign the birth certificate. Did you provide that?
No.
What do you feel like she forged your name?
She could have.
All right, I want to hear from your witness. Ms. Glover, please stand. Maybe you can make some sense of this.
Hi.
Ms. Glover, we know that your child is named Stephen Macon, Jr. as well.
Correct.
Do you believe Ms. Puckett's child, Stephen Macon, Jr., is in fact your boyfriend's biological child?
No, I don't believe that at all.
Why?
Can I start from the beginning?
Please
Her
do.
sitting here saying that she didn't know about me, let me tell you, I was at work. I worked at a gas station, minding my own business. She sent some of her little friends up in there. I guess she heard my name but didn't know exactly who I was. I go home, I talk to him, I'm like, who is this precious girl that these folks came up to my job asking me about? He's like, oh, I don't know. So I put my detective hat on. I'm like, okay, you don't know? Let me find out. So I'm minding my own business. Steve's phone is ringing. So I'm like, who's that on the phone? He's like, oh, it's somebody playing on the phone. I had already heard about the precious girl. So I'm like, your phone ringing, everything is starting to add up. Let me answer that for y'all in the plan. Hello, who's this? She like, my name is so-and-so. I used to live with Precious. Your man, Steven, is sleeping with her. So I came to her door. I'm like, woman to woman, okay. He was like, oh no, don't go up there. So I'm already curious. I'm like, why doesn't he want me to go to this mysterious house if there's nobody that he knows lives there? So I knock on her door. Who's there? I hear rumbling, doom, 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 doom. I hear folks doing backflips, body jumps, and everything behind the door, okay?
Next she knocked on my door like she was security or something.
I said, I hear you. I said, open the door. Next thing I know, I heard click, click. The lock, she didn't hit the lock. She got smart, because I was about to walk up in there, but she got smart. I don't need no case. So she hit the locks. I'm like, I hear you in there. You might as well come out here. Your friend directed me to your house. So you're not answering the door. I already know what it is. So I go back out to the car. He looking nervous because he don't know what happened.
You went to confront her.
Yes, as a woman, because a man gonna lie. You know, if he can feel like he can get away with it, a man gonna lie.
So you went to figure out what exactly happened.
What exactly y'all got going on?
To get the truth from him.
Because I didn't heard your name twice. You know what I'm saying? I knew we was going through things, but he didn't want to be honest with me about it.
Can I say something?
And so were you there the day she knocked on the door?
Yes, I was there. I didn't answer because I have kids, my kids in the house, and the way she was doing, boom, 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 kicking the door.
Why would
Why would I answer the door like that?
I ain't gonna do nothing to no kids. I'm coming for you.
To me,
I'm coming
I don't know her.
All right, let's get some order. Let's get some order.
Literally an obsession.
So you were there.
It's sickening. You know, I've been with this man 6 years. I ain't never thought about getting no tattoo on me. You got 5 kids, but 3 weeks later you go get a man tattooed on your back.
Miss Glover, she wouldn't have been prompted to fall in love enough to do something as silly as put his name on the back of her neck if he wasn't with her.
I mean, he can be with her all you want to be, but it's hard about...
So at some point, you have to acknowledge that he was with her.
3 weeks, though? Come on,
Your
now.
Honor,
What
she
kind
can't
of
tell me
woman
You
do
said
that?
she's a young girl.
I've been with him 6 years. Okay, I was young, too, but I'm not going to go get no tattoo
But
on me.
everybody makes their own mistakes.
You're right, but she's obsessive.
Everybody makes their own mistakes.
She wasn't so obsessive.
Your mistakes are not her mistakes.
Exactly, but she's...
I mean, do you really... Look, Miss Glover. Do you think for 1 minute this young woman really wants that for her life?
No. If she wasn't...
No. Do you really think this young woman wants that for her life?
She made her path. I don't feel sorry for her.
No. That's not my question. That's not my question. Do you think that situation is what she wants for her life?
I'm not sure. I can't get...
Okay,
I'm not
so
sure.
that's where I just needed to ask you those series of questions because sometimes when people give testimony, it's important for me to understand the intention behind their words. And now asking you that series of questions has alerted me that your intention is to completely discredit her at all costs. I get why there's animosity between the two of you.
It shouldn't be, though, Your Honor.
Look,
it
but I get it. This is a difficult situation, and as I can see from hearing Mr. Macon's testimony, he does not help it any. Because you just right in the middle with your hands in your pocket like you didn't have anything to do with it when you got everything to do with it and everybody got your name. Miss Glover, how did you find out that Miss Puckett's child was named Stephen Macon Jr.?
Okay, let's talk about this. I go to the WIC office. We got a little local WIC office. Everybody know everybody. It's about 2 weeks. My son's probably about 2-3 weeks old. I go in there. He's there for his little checkup. They weigh him. They're about ready. They're entering his information in the computer. Next thing I know, the lady's like, oh, hold up, I made a mistake. I'm like, you made a mistake? What? What kind of mistake could you have made? She was like, I entered your baby under the wrong person. And I'm like, what do you mean? She was like, because there's a baby born on July 4th of this year, and his name is Stephen Macon Jr. And she read it out, and she's like, and his dad's name is Stephen Macon Jr. too. And then she realized she said too much. And I'm like, what? I come outside, I'm like, do you know that this girl named her baby after you? And I mean, he looked devastated like me. I mean, literally, he dropped down like, you got to be kidding me.
When you told him this information, you truly thought he was genuinely surprised.
Exactly.
To hear that she had named her child Stephen Macon Jr.
He stood on it.
Mr. Macon, was this the first time you heard this, that this child was named Stephen Macon Jr.?
Yeah.
First time in your life?
Yep.
You lying as the day is long. I can see that from here.
Okay.
He already knew because he was there. He signed it. And ain't no nurse gonna let you sign no birth certificate. I can't just sit there and sign his birth certificate without a nurse being there to see that he's who he say he is.
I had a baby in Illinois. Mind you, they want the Social Security number and they want the name, but they don't need no ID. You could have had anybody stand up in there.
How do you think your name got on this birth certificate?
I don't know, but it ain't me.
So, Ms. Puckett, before I go to these results, I have to ask you, do you have any doubts? Were you with anyone else?
No, when I was with Mr. Macon, I did not sleep with nobody else.
So, when I open these results, I'm not going to be surprised.
No, Your Honor.
All right, Jerome?
Come on, Jerome.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Puckett versus Macon, when it comes to 2-year-old Stephen Macon Jr., it has been determined by this court. In the case of Puckett versus Macon, when it comes to 2-year-old Stephen Macon Jr., it has been determined by this court, Mr. Macon Sr., you are his father.
You know what? You sent her that text message talking about some that's your baby, that y'all gonna have sex on into the sunlight?
Nah.
Well, sunlight time, baby. I'll holler at
you. Ms. Puckett, what do you feel, vindicated?
Just hurt that he wasn't there for him. That's just really hurt. And I just tried to tell him.
I apologize.
Ms. Brown, you claim the defendant got you pregnant while on a break from his wife. His constant denials have caused you to petition the court for a DNA test. You say once today's results prove he is 6-month-old Blessing's father, you want him to stop denying her and step up. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Shenoster, you and your wife claim you know you are not the biological father of her daughter, and the results will prove it today. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
so, Ms. Brown, you say you are furious Mr. Shenoster is denying your daughter?
Yes, ma'am.
Explain.
Okay, we were married. He lies, and he will lie and say that we wasn't, but we were. Right. He lies about everything, Your Honor.
Who married us?
Can I talk?
Can I see the paperwork?
Can I talk? What paperwork?
Exactly.
I ripped it up.
Was the email?
I ripped it up. I'm not talking. Where were you? Where were you when I got married? Where were you? You wasn't around, exactly. So when were you when I conceived my daughter? You wasn't around.
Wait a minute. Ladies. What I need to know is, how did you marry him if he already had a wife?
Because he didn't have a wife. He was married to me at the time.
Me and Ms. Douglas was together, but we were not married. We were separated.
Take me to the beginning of your relationship with Mr. Shenoster. I want to understand this.
We met through a mutual friend, which we basically had a long-distance type of relationship. We talked on the phone, we Facebooked, all of that. So we don't court. We meet, we get married. That's how it go.
Okay, so before you can have intimacy with somebody,
yes, ma'am,
you have to be married.
Yes, ma'am.
And was this before you actually met him in person?
Yes.
How did you get married if you've never seen him?
Over the phone.
So you marry over the phone, which means you commit yourself to one another.
Yes.
Then to be clear, this is not a legal marriage like we think about through the state, where you go to it's not that. It's a marriage within the religion.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Shenoster, I understand this now. Did you marry Miss Brown before you?
No, Your Honor. I met her on Facebook.
Were you?
We had inboxed. We inboxed back and forth. And she was living in a shelter at the time.
You are lying, never.
Hold up. She was living in a shelter at the time. She was about to move into her apartment. When she finally moved into her apartment, she said, come down so we can meet. Okay? I caught the train, got off the train, got in the cab. When I pulled up to the block, I seen about 8 guys on her step. So I called her because I was confused, like, where am I coming to? When I walked in, she said, here's your Abu. Abu is father. Talking to her 3 kids. I've never met her a day in my life. When I walked in, she said, here's your Abu. When I walked in, the kid's like, hey, Abu, hey, Abu. She continues to walk straight to the back of the house. 2 minutes later, she comes out of the back. She no longer looks like a Muslim. She has on a little shirt and some tights on, and she's walking up the aisle, hiking them up like this, so I can see her private parts. Okay?
In front of my kids.
Exactly, because you're
now she's jiggling. Now she's jiggling, walking towards me. So I did consider, Your Honor, I did consider marriage.
Her friends told me.
I did consider marriage with this young lady, right? But when I seen that, the only thing I could think about doing was going to get a bottle of Henny because it was on and popping now. That's it.
Now can I talk?
There wasn't nothing else going on. I was not going to marry her.
You look like a man anyway. Shut up.
You shut up.
Can I talk, Your Honor?
Wait a minute, hold on. Wait a minute. You go from meeting the Muslim woman of your dreams to a bottle of Henny and it's on and popping?
She was trying to get popped off, that's it. She gave me temptation.
But what we
with the hiking up of the thing, when I seen that,
Your Honor.
No, before I let you respond, Ms. Brown. Ms. Brown, before I let you respond.
You want to do like this?
You're
start jiggling?
Listen. Lying. Your Honor.
And I've never seen her again after that.
But listen. Wait. What I'm trying to understand is marriage or no marriage, you still say you had sex with her.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I did. I did have unprotected sex with her.
And it was unprotected.
Yes, unprotected.
So
unprotected sex.
Would you have unprotected sex with a
Yeah, well, probably a dog is a dog, ain't it?
After I have a bottle of
married to him, honey. So what you saying? So what you saying? Your Honor, when he came to my house, he came out. He came out.
Let's get some order. Mr. Shenoster, how long did this relationship last with Ms. Brown?
48 hours.
Exactly. And you still lie. And when this
48 hours, Donna.
He lies about every single
I got there on a Friday, I left Sunday.
So, Mr. Shenoster, you said after that, that was the end of the relationship?
That was it. I never seen her again. I rarely spoke to her. I found out months and months later that she was pregnant.
You.
Why would you stop contacting your husband?
Because
you put him out on Facebook.
You decided that you wanted to leave.
Facebook.
You married me and had sex with me on weekend. Why would you stop talking to me?
Because I did.
I know the sex was good.
Because I did.
How soon after you ended the relationship with Mr. Shenoster were you intimate with somebody else?
6 weeks after.
6 weeks after. Mm-hmm. And how soon after that did you find out you were pregnant?
When I found out I was pregnant, I was 6 weeks and 3 days. I had sex with another man 3 days before I found out I was pregnant.
And so when you found that out, did you immediately call Mr. Shenoster?
Yes.
And what did you say to him?
I said, I'm pregnant.
What was your response?
She was 6 months pregnant.
He said, congratulations, I was never 6 months pregnant. I was 6 weeks and 3 days. I sent an ultrasound.
Your Honor, the other man that's in question was, if you recall earlier when I said I pulled up in the cab, that's one of the men that was on the step.
No, he wasn't.
When I left that Sunday, he was in the area. He was basically going in the house while I was coming out, leaving to go back to Philadelphia.
I didn't even meet him then.
Now, Your Honor, can I please say something? I had to call her sister Kay's phone to talk to her. Kay told me that she couldn't speak to me at the time, okay? I said, why? She got company. Okay.
Lies.
When I called back, she says her boyfriend is here.
Lies.
Now, the boyfriend is the man that she's talking about, which is the same man that's on her Facebook profile picture with the baby.
Your Honor.
It's a family collage.
Your Honor.
Of this same man. That's the only reason I knew who this man was is because I seen his face on Facebook in that family collage. When I looked at the collage, I said, wait. This is the same man.
I didn't even meet him until after I met you, first of all. And if he was her father, why would I have a problem with
met him 6 weeks after
he's
that?
her father if I'm with him? What sense would that make?
So
I would rather him be her father than you. You have yet to see my child.
Ms. Douglas.
She's 6 months.
Ms. Douglas, I know this is difficult for you. If you need to leave the courtroom, you may be excused. So, Ms. Brown, has he seen Blessing?
Never seen her in person, never touched her, never kissed her, nothing. He treat my daughter like she's nothing, like she's the scum underneath her shoe. He wished death on my child, called her ugly.
What? What?
I don't believe this.
And then he wondered why when I finally talked to him, I have the hatred I have towards him. Because if you want to keep it between me, let's go there. I'm grown. I can handle that. But this little baby don't deserve none of that.
This is the same man that's taking care of this little girl right now.
And he gets
this same man is taking care of this girl.
Your Honor, would you not take care? That's what a stepfather is. When you step down, they step up.
He's doing what he's supposed to do as a father.
Oh, okay.
So Ms. Brown, what you're saying is, because Mr. Shenoster failed to step up, this other man did. And that's why maybe people mistake him for being Blessing's biological.
He's the only one. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. Look at my child. Look at her forehead. I don't have that forehead. Look at her grizz. She has the same grizz that you have. Look at them lips. I don't have them lips.
I was with you for 2 days. Don't nobody know me.
He was claiming her, Your Honor, until his wife she told me. She told him that he wasn't the father. But you're the man. You're the household.
That's a lie.
Like, she told me
She reached out to her and told her that we were willing.
She didn't reach out to me. I reached out
we were
to
willing
her.
To help with the baby.
So you say
she was with you. Why
so you
didn't
say
reach out
he
to me?
accepted the baby.
He did.
So you submitted evidence to the court. You submitted text messages that say the following. Mr. Shenoster says, good-looking husband, beautiful wife equals good-looking babies. I'm just saying I love you and thanks you. Miss Brown, you respond, I love you too. Why are you thanking me? Laugh out loud. Mr. Shenoster says, for carrying my child. Thank you.
And again, he lies about everything.
Your Honor.
Mr. Shenoster?
Your Honor, I did entertain the thought of the baby being mine.
Entertain the thought?
I did entertain it.
Let me tell you something. That's not a thought. That's a message.
That is a thought, Your Honor. I'm gonna tell you, it is a thought. Because I've seen this other man around.
Nope. We gonna stay on this point.
Okay.
This point says good-looking husband, beautiful wife equals good-looking babies. That's some math we know about in this courtroom. You said you never married her.
I never married her.
So why you say good-looking husband?
I chose wrong. I chose my words unwisely.
You stuttering now.
Yeah, a little bit.
So let's just say, at this point, we know you lying. And let's go from this part.
Wait, what I'm lying about?
At some point, you're lying about the fact that you gave this woman an intention to believe that you all were married.
What am I lying about?
You're lying about the fact that you did at some point say that this was your wife and this was your child.
But whether I said that or not does not.
So, no. Mr. Shenoster.
Wifey and husband.
Hey. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
You call me a liar.
You flaring up?
You need to settle.
I feel offended by that.
You flaring up?
Take a deep breath, settle down, or you're not going to get the answer you need today, okay?
Mr. Shenoster, the problem is that don't get upset because we have this message. This message just illuminates. Hold on. When your wife stood here and she testified to the fact over and over again that you all had established a marriage, that you all had sex unprotected, and that this child was yours, you acted like this was the most far-fetched story she could have ever conjured up. Hold on. That she could have ever conjured up. Your wife clowned her back and forth that this ain't no way could have been. No. Why then do you say good-looking husband and beautiful wife?
That's how
equals good-looking babies.
That's how I talk.
So that's how you talk.
Yeah, that's how I talk.
So that's how you talk to women.
Obviously.
And then you also thank women for carrying your child?
Like I said, I did have unprotected sex with her. I did.
So why do you not say there's a possibility that she can be mine?
Because I walked out, the same man was walking in the door and he was living there. Instead of you just saying she's not mine.
You could still potentially be Blessing's biological father because you admit you had unprotected sex with her.
The dates ain't add up.
The dates didn't add up? You felt like the window of conception wasn't during the time you were intimate with her.
Not only the dates, Your Honor, but me seeing this young man visible at the time when I arrived.
That's gonna give any man doubt. Look, we do this too much. Any man,
answered the phone and told me that that's not my daughter. This is the same man that answered her telephone and told me that was not my daughter. Do not contact them, that he's going to take care of her.
Now that's the testimony you need to be given.
Your Honor.
You're saying that this man was on the phone with you. He answered the phone and told you this is not your child and don't come around.
And not to come around there.
Your Honor.
And so
that didn't happen, Ashley?
No. How could you see somebody coming in my house from Philadelphia?
So how I ain't see him?
No.
If he was living there on the couch, how I ain't see him?
No.
All right.
No.
All right. I'm ready for the results. Jerome? These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Brown versus Shenoster, when it comes to 6-month-old Blessing Brown, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Shenoster, you are the father. That's your baby. That's a beautiful little girl. She deserves her daddy. Not somebody standing up talking about, she ain't mine, she ain't this. Innocent babies don't deserve that.
Well, I know she's my daughter now. That won't happen. I take care of all my kids very well. I'm an excellent father.
Your wife had to leave the courtroom. And now you're going to have to explain to her that this, in fact, is your biological child. Bottom line is this.
Duh.
Blessing is here. You've never seen her, held her.
Nope.
6 months old.
And Your Honor, I invited him to the house. I always have. I never told him that he could not see her, ever.
Listen, this happens all the time. It's unfortunate, but it happens. And this is why we're here. Because in these moments, I always give the same opportunity, and I hope people take advantage of it. And if you are okay, I would like to give Mr. Shenoster an opportunity to meet Blessing in my chambers.